I was raised in a pastor's home. I'm married to a pastor, and I am a pastor. I've experienced hurt through criticism, rejection, and the way people have treated my children. We will be discussing these subjects and so much more right here on Silently Bleeding, Finding Hope for the Pastor's Wife. Thank you for joining us today. I want to interview my precious mom. She is a licensed minister as well as a pastor's wife. They are retired, but they were in ministry. Do you remember how many years, Mom?
37 years.
Okay. You were in Dawson 37 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they were pastoring the same church in Dawson, Georgia for 37 years. And they were in the ministry before that in other churches as well. So 40 plus years in the full-time ministry, right?
That's right.
So Mom, tell me, what was one of the greatest joys of being a pastor's wife?
Seeing people get saved.
What was one of your biggest frustrations of being a pastor's wife? Was it frustrating when you love people so much and then they would kind of seem to drift away from the Lord?
Yes, it was.
Was that one of the most difficult things?
One of the most difficult things.
Okay, so Mom, tell me a funny story, something that happened in the ministry.
Well, I remember being at someone's house, and the lady asked me if I wanted more tea, and I said yes. She went around and emptied everybody's glass and mine.
Children and all, right?
Children and all.
Did you drink it?
No.
How did you get around that?
I just did.
You just did? Probably pretended to drink it and then when she wasn't looking, dumped it out?
Mm-hmm.
I bet so. All kinds of things happen when you're in the ministry. Great, amazing things, frustrating things, silly things, funny things. I remember, Mom, one time after me singing a solo, I had on, that's back when the heels, the big clunky heels like this, and I was a teenager and I had those heels on and my heel caught on the step after I sang Going Down, and I went bump, bump, bump all the way down the stairs on my behind. And you were sitting over at the organ just laughing. And Dad was sitting behind me and he was trying to be very serious, and he was like, praise the Lord. Everybody else was laughing. I had a choice. I had to either laugh or cry, and I chose to laugh. I remember having my hands over my face like this, and people didn't know. Later they said, we didn't know if you were laughing or crying, and I was laughing because that's a choice that I made.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mom, I know you did a lot of fundraising as a pastor's wife. What did you do? What was the main thing you did to raise money for the church?
Baked cakes.
Baked cakes. Oh my word. And you talk about an amazing cake baker. She is the best. How many cakes would you average in a week baking when you were preparing for a bake sale?
Probably 20.
Can you imagine baking 20 cakes from scratch? I can't even, making one cake from scratch does me in. I can't imagine making 20 in 1 week. But she had her system down, and that was an amazing thing that you did. You raised a lot of money with God's help for the church and remodeling the parsonage. Who remodeled the parsonage?
Daddy.
And who was his sidekick?
I was.
You helped him carry things, you lifted things, you held things in place for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember, Mom, you and Dad, you stripped the parsonage to the bare bones and you put in new sheetrock, new flooring, new everything. And it was beautiful when you guys finished that.
It was.
What about when we went to Dawson and this was our Sunday? Dad was going to preach and the church was going to decide, and we would decide if this was the church for us. Do you remember that Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
And when we went to use the ladies' room, do you remember what that was like?
I don't remember.
That's okay, I do, because I leaned against the wall and the wall moved. But that was one of those projects. You guys raised money and you remodeled. Dad tiled the bathrooms and remodeled them, made them nice and strong with new toilets and all kinds of things. So, being in the ministry, did you guys always have lots of money?
No, it was a struggle, but God provided.
I remember when I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old, us sitting at the table in Valdosta, Georgia, and you told Dad all we have is a little bit of bread and some peanut butter in the jar. And we sat down, we blessed the food, and then there was a knock on the door. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
And it was the one of the poorest men in the church. He had 13 children, I believe. He was a farmer. Yeah. And he said, Pastor, God told me y'all needed groceries. And there was 3 boxes full of groceries.
Sure was. And it wasn't surprising because God always provided.
He sure did. You know, one thing I really love and appreciate about you, Mom, is you taught me how to be a woman of faith. You were the example to me of how to pray, how to believe and trust God. And I'm so grateful for that because there's been many times that my husband and I have really faced hard, difficult circumstances, but I knew how to pray because of you. I knew how to trust God. And I thank you, Mom, for being that godly example to me.
Well, I'm glad that I could be.
You know, Mom, I remember at times laying in bed, waking up in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and hearing you out in the dining room where you would be standing in front of that little heater praying. And I remember you calling my name out to God. You called everybody else's name out to God too, but it meant so much to me knowing that my mom was covering me in prayer for the day. And I'm so grateful for that and the example you've always been to me of being a woman of faith. And I love you and I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you, Jan.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a moment with my mom with you. I hope this encourages you. And if you are going through a difficult time, let my mom be an encouragement to you to know when you pray in faith, believing God, He will take care of you. He'll meet your every need.
Thank you for watching Silently Bleeding, Finding Hope for the Pastor's Wife. I look forward to connecting with you. Feel free to leave me comments down below and make sure and subscribe. If you want to know every time a new video is coming out, hit the bell. I would be so delighted if you would also hit the like button and feel free to share this video with anyone you know that this would encourage. Blessings, my friends.